People sometimes make the mistake of asking me what I'm thinking. That's a mistake, because I'll tell her. And very few people appreciate getting an insight into the way my brain works. Now, I've narrowed it down to two things that drive the way my brain works, a way I've been told repeatedly is pretty goddamn weird. One is that my brain stores a huge amount of trivia and minutiae, and it takes very little encouragement for me to reproduce this knowledge at great length. I've come to think of it as having Velcro on the inside of my skull. These little strands of Velcro grab stray bits of information as they float by to hang on to. Hey, you never know when you're gonna need it later. The second part of my thinking process that tends to freak people out is that it involves really rapid word, image, concept association, and I jump from A to B to C to outer Mongolia really quickly. This adds up to behaviour that most people find disturbing, so don't ask me what I'm thinking, I'll probably tell you. I was thinking about this today because someone said to me, wouldn't it be better if you were Mr. Happy than Mr. Angry? Happy is much better for your mental health. And I thought, mental health is an interesting thing. How often do people misuse words like split personality, schizophrenia, bipolar? And then I thought, isn't this a great time to be paranoid? I'm sure we've all heard the joke where the American Society of Psychiatrists issues a press release saying thinking the government is out to get you and listening to all your phone calls is no longer a sign of paranoia. That gets truer every day. And you know who the real beneficiaries of hands-free mobile phone kits are? The crazy people who used to walk down the streets talking to themselves. They must feel way better now everybody's doing it. Speaking of which, where have all the really crazy people gone? You notice I'm not taking the cheap line and saying they're all working for the Bush administration? Except for the fact I just said it then. I've seen some great crazies in the past. I had one guy in the neighborhood would full on shake his fist at the sky, arguing with God. Now what we get are people who are too goddamn rude to have private conversations and instead inflict their conversations on us in public. Mind you, it's still funny when they devolve into screaming on the phone, apparently completely unaware of we're all sitting around listening to them. And while I'm on the subject, don't listen to anything funny on your iPod when you're out in public. You look like some sort of crazy sick freak as you sit there giggling to yourself. Oh, and don't play racing games on your PSP on crowded public transport. No one can resist jerking the console around trying to steer around corners, even though we know it doesn't affect the game and you'll bash someone in the head. Don't do it, okay? And to get back to my previous point, it's the perfect time to be paranoid. The US government has made it clear that they feel they have the moral right to just eavesdrop on you all the time for no reason. And they'll imprison you for nothing beyond suspicion and keep you locked away for years without charging you with anything, let alone bringing you to trial, or God forbid actually convicting you of something. And if you live in a Western democracy, you can live in perpetual paranoia that some insane jihadist is going to blow you up on your way to work. And if none of that worries you, there's always the next tsunami, earthquake, volcano, act of God just waiting to smite you at a second's notice. But I'm not paranoid, I'm angry. I could be happy, but then you'd have to sit there watching videos of me saying how happy I am and how much I love fluffy little bunnies. And how much would that suck?